Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. Today we have our final story from North America and the American West. This story is not a ghost story per se, but it certainly isn't a happy tale either. This is The Queen of Death Valley. In the southern part of California, near the Arizona line, is the famous Death Valley, a tract of arid, alkaline plain hemmed in by steep mountains and lying below the level of the sea. For years, it was believed that no human being could cross that desert and live, for horses sink to their knees in drifts of soda dust. There is no water, though the traveler requires much drink, and the heat is terrific. Animals that die in the neighborhood mummify but do not decay, and it is surmised that the remains of many a thoughtless or ignorant prospector lie bleached in the plain. On the east side of Dead Mountain are points of whitened rock that at a distance look like sheeted figures, and these, the Indians say, are the ghosts of their brethren. In the heart of this desert is said to be the ruin of a pueblo or village, though the shape and size of it suggest that it was made for a few persons rather than a tribe or family. Long ago, the tale runs, this place of horrors was a fair and fertile kingdom, ruled by a beautiful but capricious queen. She ordered her subjects to build her a mansion that should surpass those of her neighbors the Aztecs, and they worked for years to make one worthy of her, dragging the stones and timbers for miles. Fearing lest age, accident, or illness should forbid her to see the ending of her dream, she ordered so many of her subjects to assist that her tribe was reduced to practical slavery. In her haste and heartlessness, she commanded her own daughter to join the bearers of burdens, and when the toilers flagged in step in the noonday heat, she strode among them and lashed their naked backs. As royalty was sacred, they did not complain, but when she struck her daughter, the girl turned, threw down her load of stone, and solemnly cursed her mother and her kingdom. Then, overcome by heat and weariness, she sank to the earth and died. Vain the regrets and lamentations of the queen. The sun came out with blinding heat and light. Vegetation withered, animals disappeared, streams and wells dried up, and at last the wretched woman gave up her life on a bed of fever, with no hand to soothe her dying moments, for her people, too, were dead. The palace, half completed, stands in the midst of this desolation, and sometimes it seems to lift into view of those at a distance in the shifting mirage that plays along the horizon. And that is The Queen of Death Valley, the haunting tale of a mirage that forms in the heat and desolation of Death Valley. This is Dan Scholz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Next week, we'll be back with 3 new tales that I promise are not from North America. As always, thank you so much for listening.